Hello everyone, and thank you for joining this session today during Veeam ONE 2024. My name is Jorge de la Cruz. I'm a senior product manager here at Veeam. I have the pleasure of working within one of my favorite products, which is Veeam ONE. And today we are here to discuss about Ready Player One. Are you ready about getting the best threat center score within Veeam One, right? So let's take a look and dig deep into the agenda. We are going to cover 7 different points. We are going to start with the Veeam Data Platform, quick overview. We're going to discuss later on Threat Center. We're going to discuss briefly regarding the different widgets as well. And then we are going to jump into the different widgets per se, right? So platform security compliance, data recovery health, data protection status, immutability, and finally some tips and tricks so we get the score at the top of the leaderboard. So Veeam Data Platform, right? Because there's no more like Veeam One itself. Veeam One came as part of the Veeam Data Platform Advanced in this case. Let's quickly discuss. So as you can see here, let's start from the bottom, right? So Veeam, it's the leader, the number one leader, protecting all of your the most important workloads. So for example, if we talk about the public cloud, we do protect AWS workloads, Azure workloads. We do protect as well Google Cloud workloads and Kubernetes as well. Then if we talk about on-premises, for example, we do protect virtual environments. And as you have heard already during the Veeam ONE announcements, we are expanding that with Proxmox. And we do have support, of course, for OVIRT, KVM, meaning Red Hat and Oracle, VMware, vSphere, Hyper-V, and well, let's see what else the future brings us as well. For the physical part, a lot of customers, they still have physical servers with the more critical workloads running there, perhaps like heavy databases are running on physical, or something that it cannot be virtualized per se, right? So physical, we do protect that as well, Linux and Windows and Macs as well. Then we do have applications, meaning Oracle Arman, Microsoft SQL Server. We do have as well SAP HANA and more that are coming as well. Software as a service, Microsoft 365 data protection, and we have as well Veeam Backup for Salesforce. So it is a very comprehensive umbrella of products or services that we do protect, critical applications that you might be running today. But now, what is the Veeam Data Platform, right? So we start with the native APIs that of course takes for the whole platform. And then if we start with the Foundation edition, it has the backup and recovery. So that is of course the Veeam backup and replication and agents, plugins, all of that. It's within the Foundation. Then we move to the next tier, which is the advanced tier, monitoring and analytics. So to get the best observability possible out of the compliance of your environment, you should get advanced. So that's going to get you Veeam One, and you will be able to create reports, dashboards, again, prove that you are compliant, and much more, like for example syslog and advanced ServiceNow integration and so on. And then finally we have the top tier, which is the premium edition that includes recovery orchestration, Veeam Orchestrator, and that it's of course not just to prove that you're doing your backups, but just to orchestrate, to have ready plans with your most critical assets and test them from time to time, automatically, weekly, monthly, so you can just prove that in case that something happens, you are ready because you know how much time it's going to take to deploy this or to boot up these VMs from or these workloads from the backup, either to another location or even to the cloud as well, which is possible today. So hopefully that is a good quick overview regarding Veeam Data Platform. Now, Threat Center. So Threat Center, we released this with version 12.1 of the of Veeam Data Platform Advanced. So if you are not in 12.1 already, I will recommend you to go to 12.1 just to get Threat Center, malware analysis, and much more functionality. But one of them, which we are here to discuss, is Threat Center. So starting from the top rectangle, the Threat Center, it's that new view, the new homepage for Veeam One. Now we have a big widget called Security Scorecard, and that Security Scorecard is going to give us or Data Platform Scorecard. That is going to give us a very nice overview, a number of how we are doing across different uh, main core pillars, right? Because at the end, Threat Center, it's just that consolidated single pane of glass that we need, right? So for example, platform security and compliance. Platform security and compliance is a very nice widget that that it is telling us how good are we following the best practices on the different backup servers. That can be is it multi-factor authentication enable or disable, RDP enable, disable, and much more. So that is a widget that in a very simple way is going to tell us how good we are following those best practices. And of course, if you have just one backup server, I might understand that you might say, Jorge, but this is perhaps too static. But if you have 10 backup servers, 20, hundreds, like some of our customers, they have hundreds of backup servers, that becomes more tedious. And that specific widget is for you to make your life much easier. But perhaps the score is not as it should be. We'll see that later on. Data recovery health. Data recovery health is a widget that it is going to tell us how good our backups health they are. Talking about malware. So which backups have been infected or have been marked as suspicious, and which ones are clean or marked as clean, right? So that is a very nice, good overview, if you ask me, about the global overview. Now we have data protection status. That is the most basic foundation one, right? What is protected within giving an RPO? What is protected? What is matching that RPO and what is not matching it? In as a summary on a single donut, right? Finally, we have the backup immutability status, because that this last step of the 3-2-1-1-0 rule, perhaps not everyone is following. So that is okay. Now that you have a backup, how good are those backups? How resilient are those backups? Are they a backup copy, and that backup copy it's already immutable, or even on the main backup job, are those restore points immutable? So that specific widget, it's very, very, very nice. You can see those 4 icons over there, meaning that all of them, they take you to a specific report to expand on the information that you can see on the dashboard. So we're going to discuss that later on. Then we have malware detections. Malware detection is a world map that is going to show you the blast radius. So if you get infected, you will see easily where are those infections happening on what backup repositories, and where is that backup repository located, right? So even if you think that, okay, I'm just doing my backup jobs on one place, if you're following the 3-2-1 the 3-2-1-1-0 rule, you should be having already a backup copy somewhere else, and that somewhere else, that's your second location. Even if you're using public cloud, one of public cloud, AWS or Azure, those repositories are already on a different location. I'm sure they are not in the same city that you have your main data center. So that can become a very nice view for you to see if everything is green, or if you have some restore points infected, where are they located? Now, the other one is RPO anomalies. RPO anomalies, it's a table that is going to, given an RPO, is going to show you the hot points, the hot VMs that are, or different workloads that are not matching your RPO. So imagine you're thinking that you want to have 24 hours RPO, and that's going to resolve all of the doubts, because something that is not matching that every 24 hours RPO, you are going to see that on that widget. Very, very, very nice. And finally, the SLA compliance overview. That is an overview of per day within a very, very long time. So you can just start as minimum as 30 days, and then you can just move up to 180 days. That means on a heat map, you are going to have 180 squares, and you are going to see the different colors, right? If you are matching your SLA, like imagine 95% of success per day, that will be green. Things that are not matching the SLA will be red. And finally, days that you might not have data because the backup server was down, or you have not even installed but the backup server just yet, those will be gray. But usually you should not see gray if you have installed it for already for months or years. Let's show you now. You remember when you were playing on the arcades, and then you just put your coin there and play. You did your best, and then after that, you could not even put your initials, on the leaderboard, on the list. This is this example, right? This is a very low score threat center. We should not follow this whatsoever, and that's why we're here. We are here to improve this score, and I'm going to help you to level up, so you can just go and put your initials there on the top, so for everyone to see. For example, platform security compliance can be improved. You can see that there are a lot of best practices that are not being followed. So it's much better that we take a look into here. And I can see that they are 83, right? So that means that they might be more than one backup and replication server. So we need to really take a look into that. It's a good data recovery health, I'll say, 95.1%. But anyways, I will 100% run the report to check what are those 12 infections over there, or anomalies, because something is not right. And that can always, keep expanding if we don't control it in time. And of course, you can see that later on the map as well, the bubble. Then is very poor data protection status, to be honest. We have 1,126 non-protected workloads, and then we have only 28 protected workloads from the selected scope. That is very, very, very low. We need to, of course, bump up that. And then, of course, we have very poor backup immutability status. As I mentioned before, that is one of the last lines of defense, that when something goes very, very wrong everywhere, everything is being destroyed, even the main backup site has been destroyed, we need to have an immutable copy somewhere else. So that donut over there, we should always aim to have it as high as possible. So I wanted to show you the the bad example. Now let's jump into the different widgets. Platform security and compliance, right? The first thing we need to do to level up our game, to pass to the next phase, is detect and report all missing security and best practices. We have the backup and security compliance report. You run it, and you are going to see very, very simple, the backup server security and compliance status. What are the miss security and compliance checks versus unable to detect or not implemented or not check. And later on the second page of the report and following pages, because to be honest, this report, it has a lot of drill downs, which is very nice, to take you to move between pages. You are going to see a list of the different backup and replication servers. Again, with one, you're going to see just one. If you have 5, 10, or hundreds, you are going to see a very detailed list here of backup and replication servers and how good you're doing that. You're doing that per server. Not only that, if you expand one of the servers, you're going to see what are the best practice that it needs action from your side, like the not implemented ones. Which ones are good, like, so you pass them already, that is implemented, and what are unable to detect as well. So now the second step to do to resolve this is apply the remediations. Applying remediations is just really logging into the different Veeam backup and replication servers. If you have one, that's good for you. But if you have 10 or 20 or hundreds, that can be a bit more tricky because you need to solve a lot of things like disable WinRM, take a look at the remote registry, SMB3, multi-factor authentication, and so on and so forth. So um, remediating all of these best practices to have a proper hardened environment. It might take some time, but the good news is that we do have a KB, the KB 4525. You can just go there. There is a very simple Windows PowerShell script that is going to help you to quickly check what's happening and take an action and remediating some of them automatically directly from that PowerShell. Very nice, very intuitive, and very DevOps ready. To be honest, so to deploy in more than 10 VBR servers, this can help you immensely, I'll say. So data recovery health. This is the next widget. So data recovery health, as I mentioned before, is going to show us the status of the restore points, which ones are clean versus those ones that had been marked as infected or with anomalies, and as well as showing us the workloads themselves, the VMs. So if you have something, the inline malware detection, it's detecting something in production. That is the first pie over here. So as per usual, to move to the next level, to level up, we need to detect and report on restore points over here. The second page of this report, it's very, very nice. You are going to have a list of those workloads that they have infected events trigger either on the backups or on the workload itself. You are going to see the event timestamp, what it has been happening, and the description, what is the problem itself, and also as well the engine over there. It has been triggered with the internal. It's has been doing a trigger through a Jira rule and so on and so forth. One of my favorites, it's as well the restore points. You can see there is a hyperlink. That is because it has a drill down report. So when you click on the 9 restore points of Tech Local 3, that is going to show you all of the restore points. Where are they, meaning backup repository, and what's the status. So if you have here some suspicious or some infected workload, it will be very simple for you to go into that specific workload restore points and check what is clean, and from there trigger your restores, or at least even check those clean restore points with your current security technologies. So, or even use Veeam with the stage restore, for example, or with the check for malware. Um, Apply the remediations. There's different ways to apply remediations to currently trigger events, right? So one of them is on the production VMs themselves. You can just go in backup and replication, protected data inventory, and then you can just mark them as clean if you think this has been a false positive, for example. That is very simple to do. Or for the protected data, meaning the backups, you can just go under the backups and you will see very simple, because it has like a red bag. You will see what chain it contains, some workload that it may be infected, and then you expand that and you will see that specific workload and which points have been marked as infected or suspicious, and then you can just mark here as clean if you think that is a false positive. So now we move into the data protection status. Data protection status, it has 3 different reports. So if you want, depending on your complexity, if you just have VMs, then you are going just to run protected VMs and that's it. But if you have some agents and some cloud instances, you need to run the 3 different reports to get a really nice detect and report on missing data protection, meaning the level up. We want to level up, so we need to first identify what's happening and where, which workloads have been not been protected and why. and so on. One of my favorites is protected cloud instances. This is absolutely the best report. If you have workloads across different public clouds, and then those environments, they have been managed by DevOps teams. They have full autonomy. Uh, you this report is going to help 100% because you will get a visibility across all the different clouds, and if those workloads that everyone is deploying them are protected or are they not protected, and if not, why. So yes, the first thing is just to try to find them what's happening, and well, to remediate them, as you can imagine, is should this VM or this workload be on a backup job, then you add them into a backup job, and that's it. But these reports are very, very nice. Backup immutability status. So backup immutability status, as I mentioned, is that last layer of defense, right? Just to make radical resilience on our workloads, we need to have this not like this, not with red. We need to have as much green as possible over here and have as much immutability as possible. So the first thing to level up is to run the report and check what's happening. On the next page of the report, you are going to see a lot of details regarding which workload and how many restore points does it have, how many are immutable, when this report, these restore points expire, and so on and so forth, right? So this is a very comprehensive report, and you will be able to quickly identify the different anomalies that are happening here to match your immutability. How we can fix immutability, really? There are different ways. So the first one is by introducing a Veeam hardened repository on our data center, or maybe on the copy data center that we have, secondary data center. Veeam hardened repository, it is a Linux. We have an ISO that you can deploy very easily, or just take your favorite Linux distribution and then follow the steps on the Help Center to get your own Veeam hardened repository in Linux. Then we have object storage, and that opens a lot of doors here, right? So that opens the public cloud, meaning Google, AWS, Azure. That opens as well AWS compatible, meaning, for example, on the cloud, we can choose Wasabi, for example, or if we talk about on-prem, we can always leverage Object First, Cloudian, Minio, and so on and so forth, right? So those are very, very nice. Now, if we move to the deduplication appliances, we do have integration with some dedupe appliances that have immutability. Some of the deep appliances, they still have immutability, but we don't have integration, meaning we're not going to see them on the report. But for example, for HP store ones with immutability, we are going to support that. That's just to mention one quick name. And then finally, announced here, really hot off the press, is the Veeam Data Cloud Vault. You can just go directly from the VBR console, create a backup repository, select Veeam Data Cloud Vault, and start doing your backup copies or your backup jobs directly into the Veeam Data Cloud Vault. Very simple, guys, to get this immutability status as well level up, going to the leader. Now, as you remember here, the Konami code on the Contra long time ago, right? And in other games they had this. With this cheat code, you could just get more lives or just level up and then get better results. So that's what I'm going to show you right now here. So the first thing that we should do as soon as we open Veeam One version 12.1 is go to the malware detections widget, and then we need to go into the repositories mapping, and then we need to assign locations to the different repositories that we have. We need to click into location. You can see, you can select a few of them or all of them, and then quickly map them to a location. So later on, when something happens into some of the restore points on the different locations, you can just quickly see on the map the real location where this is happening. So the blast radius, it's effective. So please go and map them. That is my first advice here, the first cheat code. The second one is RPO anomalies. On the RPO anomalies, my advice will be, for example, just filter by protected workload types, because maybe some RPO are more types are more important than others. Imagine you have databases. I'm sure the databases are the most important, so you just go to protected workload types and then select the enterprise plugins, and then you select your RPO. 15 minutes, just put there 15 minutes for your databases, and you will get very nice widget that is there updating constantly. So that is my cheat code for this to go and level up. Finally, the SLA compliance overview. That's another one that is very interesting. Many customers that I met, they are not aiming for 100% whatsoever on the SLA, because this is not per jobs. This is per workloads inside the jobs. So if you have one job with 100 VMs and then 95 have been success, but then 5 failed for some reason, we are going to count them separately. So this percentage is very, very granular, and even we are aiming for high numbers. I don't think 100% it's here the correct number. Maybe 97. I saw some customers 94 point something. That is what the business is asking them. So go here, change the target SLA to the target SLA that you are expecting, that your business is expecting, and then go into that top level, please, the top score. Put your initials over there, because you have been achieving a very nice, almost everything green, um, especially on the security scorecard. That is the most important thing for us. We have been achieving this very nice this very nice score: 91%, 100%, 89, 93, and at the end the main shield over here saying well done uh, to us. So that is pretty much everything. This session has been fantastic. Thank you so much for listening the session. Hopefully you have learned how to increase the how to improve the threat center score. Hopefully now you're ready, player one, and then yes, if you have any questions, I will be here around Veeam ONE, or you can always drop me a message, find me on social media, and I'll be happy to help you with any question. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the rest of the show. Bye.